So, I almost said alt Disney, holy moly. The alt indie style with, dare I say, spirits of folk and perhaps a touch of pop with vocals and songwriting that keep making you come back for more. It's the talent that's opened for Wyvern Lingo and Mary Coughlin. She's played around the country, including Electric Picnic and Forest Fest. Her single drops tomorrow and she enjoys an old surf. It's Rue Elizabeth. Rue, pleasure to have you on the show. How you doing?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me on.
We do a thing here on the Very Irish playlist, right? I'm going to throw you a curveball. I sent you a few questions so you can be warmed up for this. But what's coming next is something I didn't prepare you for because we love to do it live, which is your rider. Are you aware of what a rider is?
No.
Okay.
Maybe.
I might. It is the production request that you put in before the start of your gig so you have a few things in the room when you're getting ready. Yes, I know it's known as a couple other things, but we use the term rider. I'm not sure why. So here's the thing, Rue. Let's say for your rider, you can have anything you want. There's no financial limit. What would be the 3 things you would want in your room before going out live?
Oh, God. All right. Well, the first thing is mango.
Oh?
I always want mango before I go on stage. I don't know why. It just relaxes me. There's something about eating mango that makes me feel like I'm on holiday.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I like it.
So, yeah, I like to dig into like a pre-cut mango.
Pre-cut, very important. Yeah.
If there was no financial limit, I'd say I would want to get like Adele over to just give me a bit of a pep talk.
Yeah, okay. All right, we're flying in a celeb. That's fair, yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like if I could afford anything, I could afford to pay Adele just to pop over for 10 minutes before the show.
Yeah, okay.
And then the next thing, which I suppose is something that I already do, is actually listen to, there are certain songs that I would like listen to growing up that would like remind me of how it feels to just be kind of like free and into music before you got into doing it yourself.
Right.
So I listen to like a couple of those songs as I'm going on. Like one of them's Florence and the Machine. Another is, you know, the song Ain't No Mountain High Enough.
Oh, absolutely. Ain't no mountain high. Ain't no... Yeah, it's a tune. Absolute banger. 100%. Nice. So those are your 3 things then?
Those are my 3 things.
Excellent. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Definitely. And which one from Florence and the Machine? Which song are we talking here?
Probably You've Got the Love, but... Yeah, I'd say You've Got the Love.
Right. Would Dog Days Are Over kind of slip in there as well to get you fired up?
Yeah, I was going to say Dog Days Are Over, but I feel like You've Got the Love is the one that I get most into.
Right, so that's kind of the energy that you take from these songs. The Ain't No Mountain High Enough, the You've Got the Love, that's kind of the flair that you bring to the stage then, would you say?
Yeah, I aim to do that anyway. Like the live show, it's kind of a mix of like guitar driven like energy, and then I also like to get into more like intimate sing-along kind of style. So like I mentioned Adele, I grew up listening to Adele, and I'm like a real ballad girl as well, even though I don't like all my music isn't ballady, but I love that energy. I love that connection with the audience where it feels much more intimate.
Yeah.
So I like to kind of balance the two with the live show.
When people go for these musical experiences now, that's what it needs to be, you know, a musical experience. If everything is kind of nearly same straight way through, it's lovely to be able to say there's a moment for the crowd, there's a moment for the band, there's the sing-alongs, and there's everything. So it's brilliant to know that you're already kind of coming in with that energy, that spirit in it all. So that's your live element. I kind of want to get to know a little bit more of your recording, if you don't mind, Rue, because we got a taste back in 2022 when you released your debut single, My Everything Great. Brilliant song, by the way. All the way to February of this year, which is Bad Dream, and that gave us a taste of the style. And you've spoken before about having influence from, well, now you've said Adele, but like Lana Del Rey as well, to Arlo Parks. So how did you find this sound, especially if your love is like ballads and different things? What kind of made you find this style?
I feel like my journey into what I'm with this next single has kind of been like a journey of self-identity as well. So I started, I think, a lot softer and a lot slower with that kind of like ballady, like an indie pop feel and sound. But I actually feel like I'm kind of going back to my roots now, which is a little bit more of like a raw energy and a little bit more of like an alternative feel and rock, really. So that's what I'm kind of moving into. And honestly, part of me wonders why I didn't like always have this this alternative sound. I think it's because it takes time as an artist to kind of find what you want to do and what you want to sound like. But yeah, this next single, I definitely feel like it's moving more into like what feels like my very authentic energy.
Perfect. And you know, I'm so glad you say that, Rue, because sometimes you do see artists come out and they just have this style that they know right from the ground, this is how I want to do it. And then there's exactly this, exactly as you're saying, you're trying to find the identity of you as an artist, and you kind of blend in you as a person and the artist together, and that can take time. So you're saying now with Crazy, by the way, the recording of this single drops tomorrow, so no doubt you are so excited. You got a radio preview on RTE the other night. We're going to play it right after this interview on the Very Irish playlist, this latest single, Crazy. Tell us about it. How are you feeling?
I'm so excited for this. This feels like, in a weird way, it actually feels more vulnerable, even though the previous music that I've released sounds more vulnerable and soft, but I feel more vulnerable with this energetic
Interesting
song.
Yeah.
Like it was it was very easygoing how it all came about. It was born like in our home studio, and my partner actually wrote the track for his own band. But it was saved like under my name on the computer. So I went in one day and I was feeling a little bit angry at the world, wanted to like get it out of my system by writing. And I found this thinking he had written it for me.
No way.
And I threw down the vocals and that was that. But it was inspired by the kind of like raw energy we hear in like post-punk and a sort of rebellious spirit of like the 80s and the 90s.
Yes.
And I grew up listening to that, like Thin Lizzy and Kate Bush, and like the X-Ray Specs, and I was very into like punk and rock when I was a teenager.
Cool.
So yeah, I was thinking a lot about actually Sinead O'Connor.
Right.
I was thinking a lot about Sinead O'Connor when I was writing it and singing it. Like to me, she always represented this like wild Irish feminine, which historically has been sort of an archetype that's like forgotten or like oppressed or deemed as crazy, which is what I was experiencing at the time of writing it. And like that very common experience of women and other marginalized groups like at the hand of society, it's sort of like an expression of that cycle that we go through of being gaslit and doubted until you actually like start to question your own sanity. So the song for me is like intended to be kind of like a release or a catharsis for that, and to be part of like reclaiming that power. It feels more vulnerable, even though the actual sound is a lot more energetic and upbeat. And also the song, like I wanted it to mean something in the world a little bit more, especially, you know, that like I was so connected to Sinead O'Connor when I was writing it. So it's part of the No Music for Genocide movement as well.
Right.
So it's not available for streaming in Israel, and it's available on Bandcamp as well tomorrow, with all the proceeds going from Bandcamp directly to Palestinians and those who are on the front line helping them.
Rue, geez, that's brilliant. I love when people can take something that they're passionate about to make the world better, and then they blend that in with their music. And to touch about what you had said, like this is a proper rockin' song. Like I listened to the bit that you had shared on social media before coming in here. It's still rolling around in my head. The da 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 da. Like, it's still there. It's so good, and I love that the message that you're bringing with it as well. It just seems like this is all amalgamated, exactly like you said. Not only are you finding your sound, but this seems to resonate with you on such a spiritual level, and the kind of print that you want to leave on the world as well. And so absolutely you would feel more vulnerable when you're doing something like this. This is the most bare you have ever been to the world, but it's in such a beautiful way. I don't think anybody could deem you as a bad person or any kind of way that could be done. And I do actually love the story that you had told, because we had actually had a little bit of description behind the scenes for the listener. We had actually met in completely random circumstances. I met you in the ocean at Fanor, County Clare, and you came out and you were like, it's cold. Because it was very cold. But it was brilliant. And then I got to meet you and your partner, and you had actually mentioned this story. And I believe the words you had said were, once you put the lyrics on it, that's it, it's mine now. It was something along these lines, like just playing with him. And he's like, yeah, it is. It's brilliant. It's so good. So you also have an environment at home to be able to just excel and be able to write like this, which is just brilliant. That's definitely one step to being able to help find more of your sound. So this is, would you say, the beginning of a new sound for Rue Elizabeth, or are we thinking we're still going to be trying different avenues of approach going forward?
I think that, it feels right to say that it's in this direction. Like, for example, my EP, my debut EP that comes out in 2026, the songs on that EP are very much like an exploration of finding the balance between that sort of like alt rock grit and then the like kind of warmer indie pop sound.
Nice.
So that's where I'm going with that. And like my band have done an incredible job with it. And I also flew over to the UK to work with Felicity Henry, producer there. She works from her cottage in Essex, which is amazing.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's very cottagecore, very
cottagecore. I love it.
But that it's really nice because, you know, I have the band behind me as well, and the mix of that with her sort of like softer feel. Yeah, it's an exploration in that direction.
Amazing. That's so cool, because definitely it is something I think we're going to get more hooked into. So that is what's next on the horizon, the 2026 EP. Is there anything else? Can we catch you live anywhere?
Yeah, so I have a headline show in Fibber's Basement December 4th. That'll be the last gig of 2025. And yeah, come on down and see the show. I'll be there with my band. I think tickets are only like €8 as well, so
nice.
I won't break the bank. And next year, keep an eye out. I'll be on the festival circuit, and we'll definitely be putting on a headline show for my EP release.
Amazing. Rue, it's been an absolute pleasure. So those dates again. So the new song, by the time this interview goes out, you're going to be able to stream Crazy right now. All of the proceeds that are made on Bandcamp goes to Palestine, the Palestinian struggle, and the people who are helping on the front lines out there. And then the EP is dropping in 2026. But before then, on December 4th, we can catch it in Fibber's Basement. Would all of that be right?
Yes.
Fantastic. Rue, absolute pleasure. Thanks so much for coming on to the show. Chat to you again soon. I'll see you live.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.